What moment made you go huh? Maybe I've delved too far into the porn rabbit hole. When I was in middle school I was browsing funny junk. I know. And someone said if you wanna see the hottest porn video ever go to motherless.com and type CP into the search bar, so I did and immediately got a FBI has been notified of your IP address notification from the site and was confused until I realized what we all know now. Foolish me. And no, the FBI never contacted 14-year-old me. When I was in Afghanistan, these dudes would come by with shipping containers full of bootleg DVDs. My roommate was addicted to porn, so he always made a point to browse the new selection. We go. I'm looking at seasons of TV shows and this dude starts screaming all excited. Tacos. Check this out. Obviously. This can't be good. This sick doesn't get excited by anything I'd find erotic. He shoves the case in my face and it looks like circus porn. Normal stuff. Bearded lady. Little people. etc. I say WTF. He says, dude, look here. There's a ducking bear in this one. I say, no ducking way someone ducks that bear. I don't know, dude. I've seen some weird it. Obviously. Now how? He organizes a screening of this thing. We get a projector and start watching. Average ducked up stuff. Bearded lady gets double teamed by interracial little dudes. Strongman pounds Siamese twins. etc. Then, out of nowhere, a lady is ducking a Dalmatian. Several people are cringing but the sickos are laughing. They absolutely start cheering when an animal trainer leads a bear through the scene. No ducking way. That bear is more likely to kill someone than duck them. People are screaming. It's happening. But the bear just kind of sits around while other people duck. I was very relieved. The roommate is visibly disappointed. I ask for a new roommate. My request is granted. I came into this thread thinking I might have an entertaining story about some kinky porn I bumped into and briefly found hot. Then I read these responses and realize I've got nothing in comparison. Watched a guy use a girl's asshole as a cereal bowl to eat Fruit Loops, milk and everything. Eel bucket. One Asian lady was doggy style with a funnel shoved in her bum and another Asian lady was dumping live eels in the funnel, stuffing them in there, as many as she could. Then they pulled the funnel out. The lady with the eels in her bum pushed and shot out like 100 little eels all over the place. It was not okay but I couldn't stop watching. I'm pretty sure it was fake. But when I was younger I watched a video of a man inserting a champagne bottle inside a woman's V. He then removed the bottle and then inserted his head fully into her V. Edit. Holy duck. I posted this first thing when I got to work this morning and now it's the top comment. For all you sickos asking for a link, you'll need Jesus. Seriously though, quite a few people posted links further down in the comments. Click their links and thank them for ruining your day. There is a video of a girl being put into a vac bed until she passes out cold. The screams were blood curdling as she slowly ran out of air. It took about a couple of minutes until her struggling got weaker and weaker. A few seconds pass and then you can hear the death rattle. She got released after like half a minute and lightly slapped in the face until she woke up with a huge gasp of air. Probably the freakiest breath play I've ever seen. I looked up the producer and the description of that clip states that she was scared to ever go inside a vac again after that experience. A woman and a horse. Then a dog joins in out of nowhere and I'm like, what the duck? In middle school I, like many others at the time, downloaded porn videos off of LimeWire. One day I had just downloaded a new video and when I went to watch it, lo and behold, CP. I remember feeling sick to my stomach and panicking as this is not at all what the name of the file suggested it was. Deleted that off my computer. Uninstalled LimeWire and prayed to every god I knew of that I wouldn't get life in prison for downloading that video. Edit. Wow. Did not expect this to blow up like it did. Just to clear up a common question. I was not actually looking up any CP when this happened because I know young people would have a desire to search for porn within their age group. I'm pretty sure it was MILF porn since that was what I was always into when I discovered porn. And it turned out not to be the case once I opened the video. This happened about 15 or so years ago and at the time I didn't know anything about reporting the links or what to do besides wiping everything I could from the computer and not touching the program again. A male clown strapping a girl into roller skates on her knees, but her arms were free, so he, also on knee skates, could drive her and she could pull them around while he ducked her. Pretty sure her ball gag squeaked like a clown nose if I remember correctly. Edit. Jesus Christ. Here's the source again. Stop blowing up my phone. That video of a man putting his head in a V. Edit. Here you sick ducks. Time I saw legendary Pokemon break a chick's back, duck her paralyzed body, then right before ejaculation it rips her head off and eats it while cum shoots out of the bloody neck hole. I once clicked on a video where some girl was hypnotized and forced to do basic porn stuff. Nothing too weird. I found it kinda hot IDK, and horny me decided to look for more of that stuff. A few video down the line and I ended up watching a group of swimmer girls being hypnotized to orgasm when touching water and then thrown into a pool one by one. At some point, I just stopped jerking off and watched in confusion as 4 or 5 girls moaning and twitching in a random pool. After that, I went back to regular porn and never looked back down there ever again. When I saw 2 links here ducking Zelda. I saw some video of a guy having sex with a Muslim girl in one of the Middle Eastern countries. I can't remember which one. Anyway, she wore her face covering during the act, and the dude finished on it. He immediately started kicking her out, and in a panic she was asking him, pleading with him to buy her a new one, which he refused. She was way too genuine to have been in on it. Hopefully once the camera cut off he became a decent person. When you've been jerking it for hours after doing coke all night and even the most perverted it on tab 37 in your browser doesn't do the trick. My friend did a random video function on Fucked until there were no more videos to play. This was roughly 10 years ago. He's since become a successful politician. A Japanese porn show where women raced carts around a track while getting pounded by dildos. From my understanding, the faster the pounding the faster the cart would go. Keep in mind this was like a full-fledged racetrack with grandstands and onlookers cheering the girls on as they raced on the track. 100% one of the strangest things I've ever watched. Edit. Link for those asking. Multiple anal prolapses. They kept putting it back in and having it fall out all over again. Way back before it became ubiquitous in porn. Browsing by Cougar without paying any heed to video titles or tags. And finishing as the actress was saying something like "you like mommy bouncing on your cock, don't ya?" and then I was filled with nothing but regret and self-reflection as I was cleaning myself up. I once was watching P-Hub. I don't remember the title, but it was something from a movie. There was 2 men, not gay. A bad guy was searching for them. One man dropped his slipper from a big rock and the bad guy found it. The 2 guys found a female elephant and they hide an elephant V. A male elephant convoy have sex with female elephant with 2 men still hidden in V. The duck was that? Pain Olympics scarred me as a ducking 10-year-old man. When I found myself beating my meat to softcore again, it was like, oh geez, I came full circle. Something about Ben 10 ducking his cousin or something. No idea how I got there. What I look for is typically very normal. I came across a post a while ago, and this guy said there was a chick dressed as Diva, an Overwatch character, who would shake her big ass and say, "Nerf this," and rip a big ass fart. I laughed for a solid 10 minutes and watched it a few more times. Saw a girl getting tortured by having her pussy lips sewed shut while she was gagged and strapped down to a metal rack. Recently actually. Found an interesting looking comic on Reddit and opened the comments to find the source. Somewhere along the way a discussion was started about morbid and fact up stuff. Someone had a link and I foolishly opened it, even though it had like a dozen people going mad with regret that they opened it. That half-rotten living anime girl is now grained into my brain. I once watched a woman being ducked by a boar. I remember seeing a clip where the camera was focused on the woman's V. Nothing happens the first couple seconds and then you start to see a Nerf football coming out then shoots out. I was dumbfounded. Accidentally stumbled across what looked suspiciously like CP. Edit. For context, I was somewhere between the ages of 12 and 14 and wanted to see how weird the internet would get. I was barely older than what the people in the videos looked to be. and I never did it again. I am at the point where there is nothing that surprises me anymore. Ended up doling myself up and watching feminization videos for hours on end. I don't remember where I found it, but when I was 16 I found multiple videos of women getting hosed down. Professional quality videos shot in a studio, the model standing there and then a garden hose spraying water all over them. I still don't get what was supposed to be erotic about it. To each their own, I guess. When I saw Queen Snake pouring sand into her V, all I want is some object on birth stuff. Basically put a small dildo or bullet vibe in and let the V close around it and leave it in. I think it's sexy, but no. The spectrum cuts right from putting the first half inch of a baseball bat in your V to putting sand and nettles in your V. No middle ground. I reached a point where there was people eating poop. Not a great experience. Guy wants to get anally ducked by his horse. Gets the horse hard. Proceeds to insert horse's D in his ass. Horse takes over. Pushes himself fully in. Guy groans and eventually dies with camera on of internal bleeding. Horse finishes. Off topic, but this thread has made me feel so much better about looking at group 6 and cream pie complications. Jesus Christ. Reddit. When I was about 18, late 90s, I was fixing a computer for a resident in a retirement home just up the street from me. He had a really nice computer with a RAID 0 set of 4 hard drives. I remember being awed by the fact that this guy had over 50 gigabytes of storage, and it was almost all used up. I told him he needed to make room on his drive, and he responded by asking me to back his media files up on zip disks. He gave me a stack of blank disks and left to go bowling or something. I started sorting through his stuff and quickly found a whole bunch of porn. Being young, stupid and alone, I decided to rub one out while browsing his stash. I quickly encountered a folder named Digitized that had over 6 gigs of videos in it. I clicked on the first one and was treated to a video of the guy whose computer I was fixing getting head from a girl that couldn't possibly have been older than 10. I almost threw up. When my brain processed what I was watching, I stopped working, left and reported the guy to the cops. A detective came by to get my statement, and I didn't hear anything else about it for over a year. I joined the army, and while I was still in training, I got 2 letters forwarded by my parents. The first summoning me to be a witness, and the second dismissing the original summons on the basis of me being enlisted, and, presumably, them not needing my testimony. Never heard a word about it again. Well, Arguro is a thing. I wish I didn't know that. Saw a man inserting a big blue Christmas ball in his anus and it exploded inside him. Difference with one man one jar is that here you could see his bloody anus since it was facing camera. I wasn't looking for porn. OSFM of Scout TF2 and a furry. Dark times indeed. When I saw video of an Alabama Hot Pocket. I regret visiting this thread. Edit. RI bleach for those who have been scarred here today. This is my time to shine. Saw this porn where a guy mummified a woman with some tape, making her completely unable to move. He inserted a plastic tube into her mouth, so that she was still able to breathe. Otherwise she was completely covered in tape. Then he put her in a 2-3 hole in his garden and buried her. After that he put ducking concrete over the hole and waited for it to dry. At the end the only thing you could see in the plastic tube running out of the concrete and some saliva dripping from it. It's the most ducked up it I had ever seen. I watched a video of 2 girls drinking milkshakes out of each other's assholes like with a straw. When you recognize an actress by her butthole wrinkles. Just now I stumbled upon Mavis from Hotel Transylvania hentai in Snapchat selfie vertical video format. I remember years ago, I came across a video where this woman got naked, then started mixing ingredients together in a blender and made a legit smoothie. Then, she laid on the floor with her legs up, and she put a speculum, I think that's what it's called, in her butt to open it. Then someone else took that smoothie she just made and poured it straight into her butt. She stood up, danced around a bit, then grabbed a glass and squirted the smoothie out of her butt into the glass and drank it. At about when I had 140 tabs open in 3 different windows, Onvor and tentacle porn while edging to a cam girl on another monitor, and then I stumble on what looks like a ducked combination of horse porn, CP and vor. Definitely ruined my arousal. Ask porn. I was looking for RSCP. Since RSCP is at the top and ask porn is at the bottom, my brain after texting went up slowly, then saw that. All I wanted was cute videos of dogs. I found one with a woman and her dog. She had sex with her dog. I was 8. A girl take a giant horse dildo 20-inch plus all the way up her ass. I never usually jack it to porn, but Elle was very surprised to find a 4 minutes and 11 seconds woman jam a 2 feet 5 inches dildo into her asshole. If that was real, that woman has all my respect, as she rearranged her organs for some cheap internet porn clout. Was way back when the internet was slower, but I stumbled on a site. Mind you, I was in a mood for looking at stuff to see what I liked, but this was a site named The Farm Family, and the pictures was of women's having sex with every animal you can find on a farm. It was not a good find. Whenever farting porn comes up, recommended is always a boner killer. Yes, I wanted to see attractive girls in leggings bending over and letting rip. Once in Ants for funny, someone posted a clip of a guy banging an alien. Usually these videos have pretty crappy production quality, but this clip had good lighting, makeup, camera work. For all I know, it was an alien. I once received a clip of a Japanese woman who was about to suck a guy's D. As she pulled back the foreskin, there was a huge load of cream cheese appearing, making her gag instantly. She still licked and sucked the cream cheese right off of his German helmet. I almost vomited on the spot. Came across an asshole being used as a cereal bowl. No, almost all the commented porn videos saw for educational academic purposes. Maybe not in the spirit of the thread, since it's not something I just stumbled on a porn site, but there was a post on RWTF just a week or two ago where a dude had a woman bound and standing upright in a cylindrical cage not much wider than her, under a cutout piece of rug in his living room. There's an elevator the width of the cage. He puts her on it and lowers her down under the floor, then covers the hole back up, puts an ottoman over it, and watches TV. All I could think is, man, I hope they have some established method of signaling if she needs help, because this looks like an extremely unsafe kink. That, and yes officer, this dom right over here. When I came across some comics from Fancydarks, loved the artwork, but the content was a bit unsettling, to say the least. Made you feel very guilty after mixing a batch. I once saw this lovely vid featuring a woman spider hybrid ducking a guy then killing him. It was live action. The woman had multiple dead black eyes and giant drooling fangs, and I think she had multiple arms, with wispy scraps of hair attached to her bald scalp. Picture Spider-Man when he goes through the man-spider transformation. Only stop halfway. It was horrific. Brazilians, if you know, you know. I saw a video of a Japanese gangbang. I don't like that kind of things. I'm more into regular porn, so I don't remember how I got there, but there was something odd. Girl, S. 1 per video. I skip her through 3. Acted really good, like they were really being gang raped, beaten, tortured, head below water and stuff like that. So I googled it. The creator is in jail. 18 years. The videos were really gang abuse that lasted for hours. The studio called a girl for nude pictures, and after she signed the contract, tens of guys entered the room and started raping her. After knowing that, the thing that affected me the most and up till this day haunts me, is that after hours of abuse, they let the girl free, take her to a room, let her shower, dress and cry. She thinks everything has finished. They tell her she can leave, and then 20 guys enter her room, take her by force, and the hell starts over again. For hours. OMG. As I'm writing this I feel like crying. I'm not exaggerating. I watched Jack Ryan and fapped at some of the nudity scenes when India banned porn sites at that time. I didn't realize VPN could solve that problem, but meh, that made me regret. Anybody ever hear of a game called Corruption of Champions? I'll just leave it at that. Lost in the old thread sorting by new, I'm sure. When I was first getting into exploring for content as a kid, 15ish years ago, I stumbled on a comic series that I haven't been able to find since then. It started as a simple enough hentai comic, Western style by today's standards. A skinny goth girl comes up to hot big-chested blonde girl at a bar. They flirt and go back to a room where the blonde's boyfriend is. He seems to think this is for him and is a jerk and forces the goth girl to her knees to suck him off. Here is where it gets weird. She does, but then proceeds to bite the whole thing off. Blonde girl freaks but just sits down on the bed as the guy bleeds out on the floor. Goth girl attaches the severed cock to herself and bam, functional cock. She ducks the blonde girl with it and after orgasm absorbs the unconscious blonde girl into her own body so that the goth girl now has a large chest. Keeps the cock. Leaves the dead body. Fin. I started out enjoying it, but as soon as things went too far I just kept reading with my jaw down. If anyone knows what I am talking about, I would send nudes as payment for this masterpiece. Oh god, so much. Saw a video once of a guy with ants crawling all over his D, and they made him come from the sensation of hundreds of tiny little ant legs. I'm a female who is 100% into gay, man on man, porn. Don't know why, but it floats my boat. My too far into the porn rabbit hole was when I watched a guy take a fire extinguisher up the ass and then prolapsed. Just thinking about that prolapse makes me want to throw up. When you go on porn site to watch something totally unrelated to porn, like the newest episode of Rick and Morty. I watched some autistic porn star, she's proudly autistic, apparently, get humiliated and called a retard by two guys and just treated like it. No blood or bodily functions, but it really grossed me out. Nugget porn. Edit. Since people are asking what this is and without making it sound insane, just imagine a woman with no arms and legs. Yeah, so this dude hung himself from his D and it was playing the Mission Impossible theme. Traveled so far in this rabbit hole until I found a guy getting pounded by a horse. I wasn't even looking for this remotely, was just searching for guys getting pounded by BBC's not. Apparently I want the first B in BBC to be way off the charts standards.